Hello there. This is just going to be for my reference. I'm not really um, putting a usefulness skill on languages for others. I'm mainly doing them as far as my use. Now, your usage might be different. Like, say you have more speakers of that language than I do. Then, of course, on your scale, the usefulness is going to be a lot higher than um, mine. Now, this is I put some of the languages I want to study, and um, and I put down just pertains to me, so I don't get any complaints. Now, on my scale, um, 10 means that it's very useful, and 1 equals um, not important. Okay. So on my scale, from 1 to 10, 10 being very useful and 1 being not important, meaning it's still good but not important, um, I have the languages that I'm studying currently. Um, Spanish I put down for 10 because it's very useful for me to know. Albanian I put down for 4, mainly because I only know a few Albanian speakers, so it will still be useful, but it won't be that useful. Greek I put a 7 because that's very useful for me. I know tons of Greeks, and that would be useful for me. That's why Greek is a 7 and Albanian is a 4, because I know more Greeks than I do Albanians. Um, Mandarin I put down as 4.5, mainly because I am only interested in learning Mandarin for the sound of it, because it looks interesting. Um, if I get to meet native speakers, that would be great and excellent. But Mandarin, I'm just doing non-intensively, so that's why I put it as a 4.5 for now. Maybe if I get to an area that has a lot of Mandarin speakers, the 4.5 might go up to maybe a 7 or an 8. You never know. But for now, I'm putting it as a 4.5. And plus, this is, um, plus, as I said right here, this just pertains to me. Now, you might live in an area in which you have tons of Chinese people, then you might rank this as maybe like a 7 or an 8, you know, and, maybe Spanish isn't a 10 for you. Maybe Spanish is like maybe a 6, and maybe you don't have any Albanians, so that's a 1, so it all depends on your area and where you live and what you want to study. Everyone's language usefulness scale, all it differs from person to person. You just can't say to someone, "Oh, well, this is a useful language, so you should learn this." Well, not necessarily true. It all depends on one's area. Like, for instance, if I have more Greek people in my town than, say, Mandarin people, I would want to learn Greek over Mandarin. If you have more Mandarin Chinese than Greek in your town, you would be better off learning Mandarin Chinese than Greek. It all depends on one's area and how one goes about its usefulness. Now, don't get me wrong, usefulness is not all that's needed for a language. You can learn a language just for the pure fun of learning a language. Like, if you want to learn, say, Urdu, and you don't know anyone around your area that speaks Urdu, on the usefulness scale, that could basically be a 0. But, on the interest scale, that might be a perfect 10. You never know. So it all depends on many, many different things.